something better than nothing.
Yeah. Agreed. Hopefully it'll come sooner rather than later.
And with the weekend just around the corner on Friday, I don't know what you're going to be doing, but I know what I'm going to be doing on Friday. We have the release of the Roy Halladay documentary, Imperfect.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
I don't know if you had any of the snips, highlights that's been released, but it seems to be very interesting and just going to be I think it's going to be impactful. So it's going to speak to a lot to what players, not only in baseball, but basketball, football, just being an athlete and the pressure that's on them and what really drives for them to go to these extremes,
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate to see this happen, and we just thought, we see it, from time to time, whether that's baseball or another sport, that athletes go to that extreme, and whether that's alcohol, drugs, of any sort, or both. And it's just really unfortunate we have to see that, and maybe something that can be done for players to, when they see themselves in that place, without repercussion, seeking assistance from the leagues, from their league.
Yeah, he went through, it's mental health, and we see this we've heard Kevin Love speak of this, we've heard a lot of people speak of this lately, and it has to do with just mental health, where players are, because they're people. And I think sometimes we forget that these are people that have problems, that have injuries, that have ailments, that have mental fatigue, that have all these other things. And we keep hearing so much that, people want them back. We got to get back. They got to get back to playing. And as much as we want to get back to watching them, they want to get back to doing their job. It's not like they don't want to do their job. So they want to get back as much, because hell's not only are they doing something they love, that's how they pay their mortgage. But I think the flip side is sometimes we forget they're not machines or robots. And they have problems just like anybody else. Just like the guy who works at Chase that gets hooked on pain meds, they get hooked on pain meds. And they have a lot of stuff that they go through as well. And I think it's time for people to realize that and understand that these are just people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just like, we cover sports. They're just like you and I, human. They do the same things you and I do. Take a shower, eat, drive, whatever it is. They do the same things. They just on a different level. They're seen in a different lens. So, and there's pressure of those sorts, pressure on themselves, pressure from the team, pressure from the fans, and so much that gets built up upon. And, sometimes they, for one reason or another, they don't take the help, or so many things, and it's just unfortunate that it ends in the way that, it did for Roy Halladay. And we'll get to see on Friday, those who do watch, that take from his wife. We're in, just the title itself, it speaks imperfect. He's thought to be, athletes, not just him, but just athletes. They're sought as perfect beings, perfect people, perfect athletes. But, they're not perfect. They're imperfect. No one's perfect.
Nope, except me.
And except you, yes. So, which, we all lose, sight of, and then we forget about that.
Yep. Very true.
So, yeah, one thing just for me, I wish there was more light shed on what mental illness, really is, and not have it be a stigma. So for those who do follow me, I shared a personal post of my own and I'll be sharing more about it today or tomorrow. But yeah, mental illness is, it can be something as minimal as anxiety to something more to where it gets you, hooked on, and you see that relief in other sources. So I think it should be talked upon, not only personally, with family and things like that, but in a bigger spectrum as far as celebrities. We see what, they also go through it. And I think one of the things you don't really see shed a light on is in sports. And I think that can be a better job can be done of that.
Yeah, because they're people. Just at the end of the day, they sleep, they eat, they drive. Like you said, they're human. They make mistakes. They fall in love. They fall out of love. They have everything that a human does, they do. They just do it on a grander stage. And so there's more eyes on them, which is, I guess, what comes with it. I do want to tell you something, though, before I go. Torey Lovello yesterday had his Zoom meeting from with the D-backs, and he said that he is optimistic baseball does come back. He hasn't been working with players. He said the working coaches have, and everyone kind of laughed because he goes, "No, I'm still working," but he means the pitching coaches, the batting coaches, hitting coaches, fielding coaches. They've had more of an impact. On what's going on with the players, but he's hopeful. He would never. I asked him directly, with the NHL coming back, the NBA looking like they're going to come back, the NFL, really trying to move ahead, full bore to put more pressure on baseball. And he basically said it's not really pressure, but they're keeping notes, obviously, but it's not his call. But he knows as a league, they're keeping notes on what the other leagues are doing and playing off of each other on what can be done. So I thought I'd share that with you for sure.
No, thank you for sharing that. Unfortunately, I was unable to make the call. I know you did. So good to see there's some positivity in that, and hopefully we do see it through, and we know that they're all following we do know they're following each other and keeping tab as to what is one doing versus the other, and they can also doing that help bring some ideas in how going forward they can things that they can do as well.
Yep.
So yeah, but there's always hope. Seeing baseball come back, sports making kind of come back, whatever it is, there's always hope. So thank you for sharing that.
No doubt.
So that is our show for tonight. So just make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Inside Sports Net. You can follow myself at JROSALYE on Instagram and Twitter as well. PLR, where can they find you?
PLR on Sports on the Twitter.
There we go.
Make it easy for you.
He has some great stuff out there, so I know, right? Just one straight shot there. So you have some good stuff out there, so don't forget to follow the big man over here. So, and
I appreciate it.
We'll bring you another show, and I know today we're going to get to tap into our Big Five for NBA, so we'll have to definitely circle back on that next week with some additional time on the clock, so we can duel it out. You still need to give me your 5. I gave you mine. I still haven't had yours. So
I know I'm holding mine until we do it.
I know you are. So we'll touch more on that next week. But until then, everybody have a great night. Stay healthy. Stay safe.
Thank you.